Thank you so much for joining us for another awesome episode of Bioenergetics Beat. I'm Heather Gray, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and certified bioenergetic practitioner, and this episode is brought to you today by Nikki, Unleash the Wellness Within. It's a non-invasive, easily affordable, and highly effective approach to optimal wellness. It's a wearable device that puts frequency better based life in your hands and on your wrist. You're going to want to make sure to stick to the very end. Well, first off, you're not going to want to miss one word that my next guest has to say, but we always have a phenomenal giveaway that you're not going to want to miss out. So make sure that you stay tuned to the very end, and let's welcome Silvia to the show. Yay.
Hi, Heather. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, depression, mental health, anxiety, all that stuff is a huge passion for me, right? And that's why, I was like, we have to have you on both shows because this message needs to get out further wider. We're still, too many people are committing suicide, too many people are on antidepressants, too many people are struggling needlessly, and there's hope out there. And so I'm so excited to dive into this talk with you today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got started in this field, and why we're talking about, the Healing Depression Project.
Sure. So the project was born out of my own experience. I went through 25 years of recurrent depression. I tried, probably everything from traditional approaches to less traditional approaches. And while some of them work a little bit, symptoms will always return. So I was always in this cycle of like feeling a little better and then, just having all the symptoms back. And I just tried so many different things and approaches, and nothing gave me sustained relief until about 5 years ago. I just put together a lot of different pieces from the programs I had attended. Plus, I did, just exactly what you do, a lot of nutrition. So that was like one of the main, like big changes for me, was just changing completely the way I was eating. And I also did, some special like trauma work and a lot of digging into what were the root causes. So can say like functional medicine in the sense of just really looking at what else was happening in my body that I didn't know that was contributing to these symptoms. And I took a few weeks out of my life just to fully focus on this healing journey. And I'm gonna say, to my surprise, it worked amazingly. And I say to my surprise because after so many treatments and so many attempts failed, you don't have much hope at that moment. So hope was not the main thing I was having, but I really wanted to try something completely different of what I had tried before. And it just eradicated all the symptoms and just completely changed my life. I've been symptom free since then. And about 2 years ago, I just had the feeling of wanting to share like the program that I did. And I got together with, amazing doctors that are now running the program, psychiatrists, even neurologists, nutritionists. And we put the Healing Depression Project was born, and we offer a program to help people that have been struggling with depression for quite some time. So they call it treatment resistant depression or chronic depression. That's like our focus.
I love the fact that you brought nutrition in there, because there's still so many people, like my kid, even growing up with me, he still can't
Yeah.
always hear me, right? And I'll watch him eat these fake foods, and then complain about depression. And, that's the thing that's always driven me the most bonkers when it comes to psychiatrists, psychologists. They're one of the few people who are working on an organ that they never ever get to see. So that can be kind of difficult. And then two, they're never bringing in the whole picture when it comes to it. Changing a person's diet a lot of times, getting rid of those inflammatory foods, toxic foods. Like, it's crazy how just making some of those simple shifts sometimes can be a game changer.
Yeah, just it's exactly as you say. It's crazy because, from a long time ago, even what you were eating, it was clear, oh, that's going to affect your heart. That's bad for this. That's bad for that. So it's like, I don't know. I wonder, was the brain not an organ for, for doctors? Because of course, like what you eat affects like really strongly the functioning of the brain, and it's kind of new in a way. So now we're talking about how nutrition is affecting the functioning of the brain itself, and how that like affects, of course, your thoughts, your emotions, and everything around you. And as you say, some people, it's even like new to them. Like I was on a show the other day. It was a live show, so they were asking questions, and the most frequent question was, "Why is sugar bad for the brain? Why is sugar bad for you?" And it is surprising. Like people that dealing with depression, they don't know about this. So it's sugar, it's processed foods, it's certain like fats, it's a lot of other things out there that are really making you feel, really bad, like taking the energy from you and so many other things that you're experiencing.
Yeah, this lifestyle is not conducive for human health, and we're starting to see that. And God bless it, there's like Dr. Will Cole and a couple other famous doctors like that are out actually boycotting Kellogg's right now to take the artificial dyes and colors out of their cereals, because most people don't even realize that that's not even legal in other countries. So Kellogg's, the same Kellogg's cereal in other countries, has
Yeah.
different ingredients than we do allow here in the United States. These things have been linked to anxiety, ADHD, depression in children. And so, God bless, I wish I could be out there with him right now boycotting, because it just gives me such hope that we're having these, Casey and Callie means, bringing into the discussion about food and nutrition and depression and kids. And it's one that I've been screaming for the past 15 years. And so I'm just so excited. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'm just so excited that it's getting more and more coverage, right?
Yeah, I was just talking about like that about what 10 days ago I was in Washington for the metabolic rally, which was like a lot of like famous doctors, including Dr. Chris Palmer and Georgia Edith, talking about how all this like food is affecting you, and how the government is really not doing much about it. Because if you look at what they're telling us to eat, is a lot. Even if they make the Kellogg's better, that's still not going to be that much of help, because it's still something that is spike your glucose. It's
Right.
still, at the end of the day, it's cereal and carbs, and that's not really what your brain needs and what most of the organs like need. So they, it's the protein, the good fats, all that, like real food, something that that if you look at it, like you will find it similar in nature. But you look at a bag of Kellogg's, and there's nothing in it that will relate to how you find the product like in nature. So it's still like highly processed foods, and
Oh,
but that's
absolutely. Yeah, if you
that's what
don't
we're
if
being
you
taught.
don't recognize an ingredient, neither does your body, and what it means that it'll cause inflammation. So folks, no, yes, it is a step in the right direction, and hashtag just eat real food, right? Like at the end of the day, and a lot of times we've gotten so far off the mark that I think it's going to take some baby steps for some folks to
Yes.
get back in there. For me, I jumped all in, but I've always had to cook because my kid had celiac disease from an early age, and so I had the blessing of being able to cook all 3 meals plus snacks, so we didn't really do a whole lot of processed food in my house, thank God. Um,
Making that change is one of the most difficult changes. Like I'm an expert in habits formation, and I became like, as I was looking at like at my own life and saying like, okay, there's a lot of things, I have a lot of information. I became an expert on depression and what was good. But then I really, when I stopped and took like a real look at my life and ask myself, are you doing these things on a daily basis? And then I was not. So I had to start just by building all these habits. And as I did it, nutrition was the most difficult one. And people like relate to that, because it implies a lot of work. And it implies changing things that some of them you've been doing them since you were a baby, since you were 1 year old, like your mom was telling you, this is yummy, this is good. So it's a big change in your mentality and it requires a lot of work. And with depression, the symptoms of depression, some of them is like it's fatigue, it's lack of motivation, and then you have to make these big changes. So it's kind of a paradox having depression and having to change all these things, but you must change them. But yeah, nutrition is
That's why I made it cooking courses, because that was like the biggest question. People were like, what do you want me to do in the kitchen? I'm like, all right, fine. So, but yeah. This is a good spot. We're gonna actually pause real quick for a break. When we come back, I want to dive deeper into the Healing Depression Project, what that looks like, what y'all are doing, how's it different from other programs out there, all that fun stuff. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name's Stephen Davis, founder and developer of Nikki, a personal frequency delivery system. This wearable is designed to deliver frequencies into the body to speed recovery from Lyme disease. Our Lyme suite of frequencies are the newest version of our Lyme recovery program. Thousands of Lyme sufferers, which include my family, use the Lyme daily to overcome Lyme disease. Today, I'm proud to announce a new suite of Lyme frequency sets that are going to be focused on co-infections. Nikki is loaded with Lyme Daily, which deals with the Lyme disease, plus 9 additional frequency sets designed to address your worst co-infection symptoms. Those frequency sets include bacteria and virus, detox, emotional balance, gut health, histamine, mold and fungal, Lyme sleep, pain and stress. And we know that those are going to be well received from people with Lyme disease. We are passionate about speeding your recovery from Lyme disease. It's a terrible disease that no one should have to live with. Once you have used your Lyme Daily, then choose from the 9 frequency sets designed to offer relief from your most persistent symptoms. The key is to stick with it. Don't frequency hop until you've used the Lyme Daily. Best practice is use the other frequency sets for a minimum of 2 hours before switching to another. This is giving the frequency sets time to bring your body into balance. Good balance means good health.
Awesome. Welcome back. I'm super excited. So I was checking out your website the other day and I knew Dr. Achina, who's absolutely brilliant, was with you, but I didn't realize Kat Topes was with you too. I love that woman. She is brilliant. She is so amazing.
Yeah. Actually, Kat was the first doctor that got involved with the project, and
Really?
and,
Ah,
and she brought Achina in.
okay.
Yeah, I wrote to her and I told her about my story and I told her about like what I had in mind. And then she replied, I would love to meet with you because if you can really make that happen, that's exactly what's needed in psychiatry, that approach and being able to have that type of program for people that need more immersive care. So that's, yeah. And she's helping us with research. We really want to show how the program is changing people's life, but not just during the time that the people are with us during those 30 days, but even after, like what's happening after, because a lot of these residential programs, the results that they have is only like from day 1 to day 30, but then we don't know what's happening after that. I mean, we do because of so many other studies. We know that depression eventually comes back, that is found to be a recurrent condition. And so that's what she's doing for the project.
That's awesome. I'm sorry. I know I've got a silly grin on my face when she's talking because I could just sit here and listen talk to you forever because I just love your accent. I think it's so sexy. You say 30 and just way you say 30, like I don't know. I'm just geeking out over your accent. Don't mind me. Um, so tell us a little bit about the Healing Depression Project. Like what does that
Yeah.
entail? How is it different than other projects?
Okay.
Why are you guys different?
So this is a project that is really calling people to stop their lives and focus 100% on their healing, because that's when you have had depression for a long time, you've tried other treatments and have not worked. then the idea and what's needed is just for you to dedicate like time exclusively for that. Because with depression, we've been trying to heal on the side. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have 1 hour on Thursday and I'm gonna go to therapy that hour. I'm gonna cook this really nice meal on Saturday. And then, you do things like that, which are, I mean, good efforts. But then at the end of the day, it's not really getting you out of that. It's just making you feel better for that day. Is maybe giving you, like some good things that you need, but everything is temporary unless you really start doing that on a daily basis, and unless you really focus your full attention. Because we have, like, especially women, we try to help so many other people in the way, and we have other responsibilities, and we think we can get out of that, just with
That,
a
and it's
few.
typically takes us longer to get us diagnosed over men too. So I think women kind of fall through that crack as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
So
interrupt you.
no, that's okay. So that's the call, and the project is, it's a 45-day program, 30-day retreat, and 15-day follow-up integration phase at home. And what's different? Like, everything is different. Like conventional psychiatry, they've been treating depression, just addressing the symptoms with drugs that research has been proven over and over that they are not more effective than a placebo. And basically, that's what they do. Those are the tools that they have. So they cannot offer anything than that, not even talking about nutrition or daily habits. Most of the doctors, they don't like even study that at school. So we do three main, we use three main tools in the project. So one is functional medicine. So it's functional medicine psychiatry. It's really looking not at the symptoms, but what's causing that symptom. Like, if one of the symptoms is fatigue, it's not just, okay, well, I'm going to give you this to elevate your energy. The question is asking the right question. Wait, why are you feeling this way? What's happening inside in your body that is making you have this symptom? So that it's a deep look at that. We've run extensive lab tests, blood, urine, stool, so it's to really look at the whole body. Conventional psychiatry, sells the message that everything is in your head, and it is not. And for a lot of people, the main symptoms of depression are grounded in the body and not in the mind. So that's something big. Is looking at it's a comprehensive look to your body, mind, emotions, and even spirit. So that's what we do regarding like the physical health. And then the other tool that we use, which is very revolutionary, is metabolic psychiatry, which I completely love because, as I was saying, nutrition really changed my life. So metabolic psychiatry is nutritional psychiatry, if you want to think about it that way. And it's just changing your diet for a diet that is, it's zero sugar, very low in carbs, moderate in protein, and high in all those good fat that the brain needs, like coconut oil, avocado, and a lot of other ones that the brain needs to function properly. So what this type of nutritional intervention does is it addresses metabolic disorders, because that's what metabolic psychiatry and research have found, that metabolic disorders are completely related to mental health disorders. Even through these interventions, they have been able to address successfully things that we consider more complicated, like schizophrenia, bipolar, type 1, like things that in conventional psychiatry were considered of like not having much hope of having a full recovery. So that's the other thing we do. We're working with an amazing ketogenic nutritionist, Beth Supek, which we're extremely excited to have in here. And what we do is, during those 30 days, that's the diet that is there. And then we also teach the person everything that they need to know about how they can continue this at home. And we also have, it's a training. So we also, that's something that is really different too. We train people in how to acquire these habits and how they can do it at home. So just like the question that you were saying before, like people asking you, what do you want me to do in the kitchen? So our goal is that when the person goes back, they have an answer to that question. They have gone to, like, cooking lessons. We even teach them like how to buy food, like the ingredients at the supermarket, how to read labels. Because, as you were saying, like if you don't recognize the ingredient, then like your body will not recognize it either. So, but we're going to tell them like, what are those ingredients? Because some of the labels are very challenging. Like you don't know what's in there, and some of those names are really bad, and others may not be. Like you just need to understand what it is. So it's a full training regarding nutrition. That's the other tool, metabolic psychiatry. And then the third one, which it's fantastic, is habits formation. So it's a complete transformational training in what are your habits. What are you choosing on your minute-to-minute life? So it's more than lifestyle habits. I like calling it like lifestyle choices, because what are you choosing to do? For example, as soon as you wake up in the morning, are you going for the phone? So what about movement? The body needs movement. And in a lot of research, exercise has shown to be as effective or more effective than antidepressants. So it's all these habits. But then we go back to what I was talking before, making all these changes, and you are, fatigued, you have no motivation. Most of the times, like people with depression are in isolation because, having depression is not a relationship builder. And that's, everybody knows this. So most of the times we're trying to heal, by ourselves. And that's really, we're lacking the sense of community. And so with this habits training, we help the person to start, like, from zero, very slowly start growing these habits. That's also why it's 30 days, because it's a minimum of like 21 days, but that's not for the habit to stick. That's for having for the habit to have an option, to like the possibility to survive in your life. So that is the beginning of it. And we do this, we teach people all the tools and the know-how behind, so that they can start practicing all these things, which include, of course, the nutrition that I was talking about before. Then there's movement or exercise. We do a lot of meditation too, because you need to find a way to calm your nervous system. And also through meditation, like what we are trying to do is to access those thoughts, limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, about your condition. If you've been sick for a long time, most likely you think that there's no hope, or that you're going to have this condition for the rest of your life. And conventional psychiatry also gives that message. When you ask for how long should I take this, there's never an answer in time. Just continue, just take it, for forever, basically. So that's one of those limiting beliefs that you really need to change, and just think, okay, one, there's hope. Second, other people have done it. So we're going to be talking about that too. And just start to believe that it can happen for you too, that recovery is a possibility in your life, and having a life free of depression is possible. Some people have been dealing with that for 20, 30, 40 years, and that is still possible for them. You can change that. So that's why we're training, and that's why we really concentrate on the habits, and for you to build all this. And after the program, which is 30 days, then the 15 days after that, in a way, we go back with you to your home. So we're going to be together in the afternoons. You're going to have a plan of what you're supposed to be doing every morning regarding these habits, regarding a powerful morning routine, and regarding nutrition. How do you go about it? Like, just now that you're not going to have, like, our amazing chef and team cooking for you, how you can replicate that at home. And that's one of the main things that we look for the program. If you cannot replicate it at home, we are basically not teaching it because it's not going to be helpful. If you do something just for an X amount of time and then you stop and you go back to your old habits, to your old self, to your old way of thinking, then eventually, the depression symptoms are going to go back to you. So
If
that's
nothing changes, nothing changes.
exactly that. There you go.
Yeah.
So those 15 days is for people to really integrate this into their lives. And then also is the sense of community. It's a very small group. It's only 15 people for each program. And it's small enough that you get personalized attention, but it's still a sense of community so that you can heal in community. Because as I was saying before, isolation and the lack of social connections is probably one of the main reasons like why we're feeling, the way we're feeling. And this addresses that. And you're 30 days with these people, you're building like friendships that are going to be like, long, that are going to stay in your life way after the program ends. So that's also like a big plus to just building this small community of people that really understands why you've been going through and that really understand the training you took, so that they will also be a support in your life to continue this completely new lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. In the comedy bit that I have, I talk about wanting to change the world and change the paradigm and stop calling people crazy. Instead, say your brain inflammation is showing, right? Because there has just been this horrible, right, stigma, this paradigm around mental health and mental illness, and how it's really no different a lot of times than breaking your bone or an autoimmune disease in the physical, right? It's your brain needing some help. So it's awesome that you're taking a whole body, spiritual approach. I also love, different tools. Our Nikki here, it's got a stress and it's got an emotions and it's got an anxiety feature, which I absolutely adore, because sometimes even when you're doing everything right, life can get heavy, it can get stressful, and having little tools here and there, right, to help snap you back can be so helpful. So thank you for everything that you're doing. How can people find out more about you, about the program, all that fun stuff?
So they can go to our website, is healingdepressionproject.com. And our invitation is for people to schedule a call. The call is being taken directly by me or Dr. Achina Stein. So it's very valuable. Like you get feedback, you get help with, with what you're going through. And we explain in more detail what this program is about. So for that, you find on the website, you find how to schedule that call. So that's the first step. And the program is running next year on March and August. So it's 2 programs. For March, we still have some spots available, and really amazing is we have scholarships, like very generous scholarships that we managed to get through funding that are for this project. So because that's one of the things with residential care, it's extremely expensive, and insurance doesn't like cover a lot of the medical approaches that we're taking. So therefore we have these great scholarships. When you apply for the program, there's a few questions to mention that you need a scholarship, and most people that are attending the program are getting the scholarships. So it's a great opportunity if you think that you need this more like focus and immersive approach to heal. It's like having under one roof the doctor, the therapist. We do a lot of somatic work. We do yoga. We do trauma healing therapies. So it's like the nutritionist. So if a health coach, if you want to think of having all these professionals under one roof, giving their all in order to help you in 30 days to really build the foundation for that new life and to feel better in a way that you're going to get encouraged because you have seen the results already. Because sometimes we people, like, we need to see results in order to keep trying and to keep making the effort. So this is what these 30 days are going to make for you. So that's the invitation for them to go to the website and just reach out to us.
That sounds great. Also, make sure to visit wearenikki.com/podcast. Enter in BioBeats for 10% off. And like I said, because we love our customers so much, the way we show appreciation is we give away a Nikki device and the wellness set of frequencies on every single episode. It's like a $5.97 value. So make sure to go to the show notes to figure out how to enter in for your chance to win. Good luck. And also check out the show notes to see if you or a loved one or one of your friends needs to, don't let money, right, be the deciding factor. Go ahead, go to the website, sign up, see what you qualify for. You could get a scholarship. Don't lose hope. There's hope. There's, people out there doing things, changing the lives. I've done it, right? I know lots of other people have done it. You can too. So make sure to stay tuned and have a healthy day. Thanks again.
There's a new word for wellness, Nikki. Nikki, the bioenergetic wearable designed to help you feel better and perform better. Other wearables just track how you're doing. Nikki is about helping you do better. Touch the Nikki screen to choose the frequency you want for what you want to do and how you want to feel. Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. wearenikki.com.
Hey, it's Cam here, and I just want to take a few minutes and talk about my experience with this new device I just got. It's called a Nikki. I've never heard of this, but it actually helps you via frequencies. And the cool thing is that each frequency helps for different outcomes or different reliefs. So there's a sleep mode. When I go mountain biking, I throw it on an energy booster. Once I'm done mountain biking, I actually switch it to the other mode they have is pain and relief. Anytime after a hard workout, put it on. I'm confident this thing is really going to work based off of what I'm hearing, based off what I'm feeling. So I think the website is We Are Nikki. Really affordable for what this thing is. Nice and sleek. Check it out, We Are Nikki. I've been loving it so far.
Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. wearenikki.com. The views, information, and opinions expressed in this content are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of FreeMedica. FreeMedica Technologies, Inc. and its employees are not responsible, nor verifies accuracy any of the information contained in the following content. The primary purpose of this content is to educate and inform. This content does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.